Hey guys, Lemon02, currently in Cube Draft number 8, I want to say, maybe 9. So, what do we think of this pack? Well, I think the most open pick is to take Ponder. Blue tends to be overdrafted. Demonic Tutor is probably like a decent opener because it can lend you to being a combo deck. What else is interesting in this pack? Really, those are about it. I think you'd be crazy if you took much else. I mean, if you really wanted to force it, you could take Welder because it's a powerful card. The deck goes in. The last deck we drafted. But I think I'm going to take DT here, and we'll see where that goes. Yeah, not much else interesting in here. Like Arbor Elf's fine. Like if you want to go green, you can run Arbor Elf. I hate green. I'll draft it, but I am not a fan. All right, Corpse Dance, powerful card. Empty the Warren's not a card I would pick up here. Golgari Signet is fine. Moat's powerful against certain decks. Corpse Dance is also a cool reanimation effect. You can use it on like Emrakul or the Eldrazi. And it does have buybacks, so I guess there's some value there. Your dude gets exiled after you use it, though. Spellskite's a great sideboard card, but not a second pick. Sakura Tribuilder is also fine for green. What do I think is the most upside here? Probably Corpse Dance. The safest pick's probably Golgari Charm. I think I'm going to take Corpse Dance, though. I'm just going to give it a shot. Like I don't want to take Moat. Like Moat is like mono fair. All right, Living Death is quite powerful. It's quite a powerful build around. The safe pick is Coalition Relic, which is what I think I'm going to take here. Blood Crypt's also quite good. Thirst for Knowledge I would like in an artifact deck. It's actually also very good in Reanimator, so maybe we give consideration to Thirst for Knowledge here. Like if I want to do Reanimator, like I don't want to do Living Death Reanimator. That's like a rock card. It's like a survival rock card. I think it would be Thirst for Knowledge. I'm going to try it. I think the right pick there, though, is actually not that. Scarab God's interesting. The Abyss goes into like an interesting prison control style deck. But Planeswalkers just beat the Abyss, right? Mishra's Workshop, quite powerful, but it will not. It'll go around. The Scarab God is like fine in like Legacy Cube. Yawgmoth's Bargain is like a powerful combo card. I'm going to pick up the Marsh Flats here, I think, and just stay open. I didn't really know on that one. Alright, Sphinx the Steel Wind's a good reanimation target. It's also a good tinker target. Putrid Imp is a good reanimator card, but it'll wheel. Through the Breach is also quite potent, and it would generally go in the same deck that Corpse Dance goes in, or Thirst for Knowledge. I think we can do better. I don't want to Corpse Dance the Sphinx the Steel Wind. Like, that's just, it's a life swing of like 12 points, but I think Through the Breach is the most upside card here, or has the most upside. Alright, Massacre Worm is a thing to behold when it reanimates, especially against creature-style decks, so I think I'm going to pick it up. Lava Claw Reaches is also interesting, but it's a tapped land. Yeah, I think Massacre Worm is the pickup here. It's too bad it's not like a Gristlebrand. Gristlebrand, I would certainly play some Tin Fins, essentially. There's no Goryo's Vengeance in this cube, though. Quagmire? Hissing Quagmire is moderately interesting. Dig Through Time is also a potent card. Well, this is a fairly open pick. Like Bitter Blossom's mono fair. I'm going to pick up the most powerful card, which is certainly this. Oath is interesting. So I have one creature that I don't really like per se like need or want to play, and like Oath is like kind of sweet because like I have a tutor already, and like I kind of want to build it. Like that sounds fun. Like so if Oath was my pick, I'm gonna pick Maelstrom Pulse here. Oath is more of a control shell. Here it's either a Nissa or a Copperline Gorge. Nissa's good in an Oath build because it's not a creature. We probably want 2 target Oath, though, so we don't mill ourselves. I guess I'll pick up the Nissa. So, I don't know if I'm going to run Through the Breach. I think Bug is the best shell for Oath if you're going to try to run Oath. So, I don't think Oath is good. So, we're kind of, like, I saw it, and I'm like, I kind of want to try it. Like, I haven't done it yet, and I think it's pretty sweet. Alright, Song of the Dryads is probably the pickup for an Oath Shell, or Living Death. Probably not Living Death. I'm going to pick up Song of the Dryads here. It's universal removal, and if we do get like an Emrakul, which is what we want for this deck, or Gristlebrand, then it's pretty sweet. Okay, we'll pick up a copy of the Abyss. And actually, this is a good Oath target with the Abyss because who cares, right? Progenitus has protection from everything, which also makes it a good target for Oath with the Abyss. Which means it even has protection from your own Abyss. Alright, Time Twister is kind of nice in this deck, I think. I don't have mana ramp, so I don't think the Mind Twist is going to be any good. Like, what else would I take in this pack? Like, maybe Vindicate's off mana. Garrick's pretty good. I think we can pick up the Twister. Pick up the Twister here. Alright, getting to the trials. Karn, Scion of Uza is interesting. Eternal Witness is fine. Bloodstained Mire may actually be the best pickup here. Like Tendrils would be interesting if I could do like Oath Storm, but I don't think that's very viable. I'm gonna pick up the fetch land here, so I'm gonna have to prioritize spells pretty highly to make this work. Alright, and that said, there's a Shallow Grave here, which is quite good, but I think it has a chance of coming around. I'm going to pick up the Tropical Island to help fix my mana. Right now, neither of my fetch lands fetch for it, which kind of stinks, but what can you do? We may be able to pick up a Bayou or an Overgrown Tomb as well. Alright, Pernicious Deed is quite good. Watery Grave may be the pickup, because I think we'll wheel Pernicious Deed or Damnation, both of which I would like to play in this deck, but I think the mana is going to be important in this build. Lumbering Falls helps fix. Badlands is fetchable by both of our fetch lands, which means we could possibly play it through the Breach. Jace is pretty potent, though. I'm going to pick up the Jace there. Imperial Seal is a way to find our combo. Sensei's Divining Top with 2 fetch lands is marginally good. Everflowing Chalice is good ramp, but I think Imperial Seal is what this deck's going to want. Alright, we have an Ultimate Price and we have a Windswept Heath. I think it's a Heath pickup. That does get our Trop. Burial Rites is kind of interesting too. Alright, so this pickup, Verdant Catacombs, is quite good. Have a lot of fetch lands. Can't say that's a horrible thing. We're a little light on playables. Won't deny that. Someone else is obviously in blue, but I mean, what can you do? Okay, here I think it's a Garrick pickup. Yeah, Garrick's quite a good card. And he's a threat all on his own. He's not a creature, which means that it works well with Oath. I would like a Brainstorm. I mean, Jace the Mind Sculptor would be like the absolute best, but a Brainstorm would actually be good in this deck, unless I want to splash into red. Because I don't have good ways to discard right now, and there's certain cards in my deck that I just can't cast, and I don't really want to have in my hand. I guess Dig does get better too when you have Oath. Alright, so Gifts Ungiven is kind of interesting. I'm going to pick it up because I think the power level on this card is very high. It's higher than Dissenter's Deliverance, I think. And if I'm right, we'll hopefully be able to pick up the Pernicious Deed, which should be pretty good in this deck because I only have two permanents I really care about, the Song of the Dryads and the Oath. Alright, Shallow Grave, as expected, did come around. That is going to be our pickup here. I guess, actually, Smuggler's Copter would be great for activating, or for getting rid of cards in our hand, but I don't have creatures to activate it. Alright, as expected, the Pernicious Deed came around, which is going to be a card I'll gladly play in this build. Brain Freeze, probably in the sideboard. I'm not going to play any of those other cards. They're all just fair cards. Genesis Wave or Tassiger up. I mean, Tassiger is the better card, but... And Sweltering Suns. I think I already made the joke. I could just play that to cycle it, because I'm a little short on playables. Not horribly, though. Time Walk's quite potent. Recurring Nightmare is also kind of it's moderately interesting, because we are going to have a lot of things that make creatures. 2 to be exact. But I think it's a pretty easy Time Walk. I'm just looking at it to consider it. I also think Commit to Memory would be great in this deck, but I don't think I can forego a Time Walk here. And again, guys, we saw the Splinter Twin there. It sucks it's in the last pack. I probably could have had a better deck than this, but I saw Oath and I'm like, let's give it a shot. I kind of want to see what the deck can do. I don't think it's great by any means. This is probably a very easy Ashiok. Oh, Reman's in here too. I kind of like Remand because my low-end interaction is pretty low, and I kind of want to be able to get through my deck. Ashiok's very potent, though. Like, I don't know if I really want to run Corpse Dance and Shallow Grave. Maybe I do, just to get these things back, but... Ashiok's also a threat. I have the other walkers, though. I think I want the interaction here, just to buy time. Alright, Counterspell. Factor Fiction? I like Factor Fiction a lot, but... The issue I foresee with that is I only have 2 creature threats in here, and like if I have to put one in my hand or ditch one in my yard, I guess then I can Shallow Grave or Corpse Dance it, but neither of these are really great for that. Looter, yeah, it's not going to go in this deck. The Flooded Strand is great, but I think I'm going to pick up the Counterspell here. Eureka, this is not. Thoughtseize or Entomb. Entomb is quite potent. You can't really Entomb Progenitus, though. You can Entomb the Sphinx of the Steel Wind, but I don't have permanent reanimation effects in this deck. I also have Greaves, which are kind of cool. What else would I Entomb in this deck? I probably wouldn't, huh? So maybe it is just Thoughtseize, like some good early interaction. And there is the Necromancy. And Force of Will. Well, Necromancy is a good permanent reanimation effect. I think Progenitus is good enough on its own, though. If I ever draw it, though, I'm so effed. I'm going to pick up the land, I think. Well, I'm at 28 with 6 lands, 22 playables. I got a little more time. My mana is perfect. Maybe I do just pick up a Reanimate here. I can Thoughtseize myself, I suppose. Could have the Entomb as well. Maybe Entomb will come around because like no one else is playing Reanimator. Like the best picks for that deck came very late. And I can Reanimate this Sphinx of the Steel Wind at a minimum. Yeah, my mana seems good. I have Watergrave, Underground Sea. I'm basically base blue-black. I have 2 double green cards, though. And then I have Tropical Island, which can be picked up by 2 of the fetch lands. And Bloodstained Mire and Marsh Flats get both the Underground and the Watergrave. Yeah, the mana seems pretty decent. Show and Tell is actually Sundering Titan, because that also works pretty well with both Oath. It doesn't work good with my mana, though. Show and Tell is also kind of interesting, but like I think Show and Tell is kind of a very high-risk card. Beast Within is obviously quite good in this deck to set up Oath. Like I think the value of Beast Within goes up if you're trying to play Oath, and I have 2 tutors to find Oath. I don't think I'm going to get away to shuffle my library, though, or get things out of my hand. That's an interesting pick. I think I'm going to go with Beast Within. Just a good interactive spell. I don't think I'm playing Corpse Dance or Shallow Grave at this point. I'm not really a huge fan of these cards. So 29 with 7 lands, 22. We still want like one more card, but we could play the Massacre Worm if we had to. I guess the Abyss is a little bit of a nombo with Oath. It's not that bad. It does still help control. Okay, Abrupt Decay is quite potent. I like Maze of Ith to no small extent as well. Sheldred's a good reanimation target, but I'm not going to be getting stuff back from my yard with her. Atarka's a good, like, multiple for 1, but I think Progenitus and Sphinx of the Steel Wind will kind of do that already. And I'll play Abrupt Decay. It's just a very flexible removal spell. I don't like a lot of the creature, like the direct creature kill cards. Like if it says destroy target permanent, like I tend to like those a little better. Or like effects like you see like Maelstrom Pulse, Pern Deed, Abrupt Decay, good rock cards. You have 4 fetch lands in this. Well, this deck at least looks interesting. I don't think the Nissa's great in this deck. I mean, she can just win the game on her own, so she is a threat. If the Entomb comes back around, I'll probably play it, because I will Entomb a Sphinx of the Steel Wind and reanimate it. You got Flying, First Strike, Vigilance, Lifelink, Protection from Red and Green. Like, against the fair decks, it's pretty hard to deal with. I mean, Swords to Plowshares, Path to Exile do pretty well, but other than that, not so much. This pick. I mean, Mere Battlesphere is also not horrible. But it's pretty bad to Oath into it, because then your opponent's going to get to Oath. Recurring Nightmare is not good. I think it's just a Caracas here. Could just be mana. Maybe it's just mana. Just take some more mana. Okay, well, I actually don't mind Liliana Death's Majesty in this deck. We can continue to return the Sphinx of the Steel Wind. This is a non-legendary card, right? It doesn't matter what it is, so I can reanimate basically the Sphinx. I'll pick up a Smokestack just cuz. Entomb did come around, so pick up a Parallax Wave. I mean, I'm not playing white, but if I were to have to play a card in that pack, it would be that card because it's a good control card. And Kasali. So I only have the Reanimate in the Entomb and the Liliana Death's Death's Majesty. So what gets the Progenitus? Basically, Edict Effects or Council's Judgment. Council's Judgment would be a disaster on it because it is one of the ways that we don't mill in this deck. I guess we do have a way of getting cards out of our hand. We can just discard them with Thoughtseize. We can also Thirst for Knowledge. It's not bad. We can also Time Twister to get rid of them, but I mean we may draw them even. Alright, so I think this is the deck. Let's add our basics here. Certainly not that. And certainly not that. Oh, it's Progenitus. 2. We're at 41. What can we afford to cut? Do we have any double black requirements? We have double black requirements at the... Oh, we're at 14 lands, though. We need to cut some cards. 'Cause that's way too few for this deck. I mean, matter of fact, I'll cut the Signet before I'll cut a land, I think. I think this deck would rather have lands, so 1 black, 1 blue. That's up to 16 lands. This may be a 17-lander. The curve is kind of like middling around 3, so it's going to want to hit. Has Remand to kind of draw out. It's got Imp Seal, Demonic Tutor Manipulate. It's got Thirst, Time Twister, Gifts. It's got a lot of, and Dig Through Time. It's got a lot of ways to like kind of utilize its mana. So I may want to go one more. It's got 4 fetch lands, so it's going to play like a thinner. It's going to play like a 15-land deck probably most of the time. Maybe we take out Song of the Dryads because I think Beast Within may just be better with a Pernicious Deed deck. And I think we add 1 more blue, I want to say. So we have a lot of black requirements at the 1 spot, but I've got this. I've got the most fetch lands that provide black mana. Yeah, I've got 3 fetch lands that find black mana, so I think I can skimp a bit. Well, you know what? Maybe it's 4 blue and 4 black. Maybe that's correct. Is Gifts necessary in this deck? What does Gifts really do for us? I'm trying to make sure we build the right deck here. Like, Gifts may not really do that much for us. I mean, I suppose it does put... Like, we can just like put a reanimation target in the bin. Which is not horrible. Yeah, I think we cut the Gifts. I think I'll play the Abyss. I mean, like, what does it really matter if I play the Abyss? I guess it is kind of bad with Oath. And I already have Pern Deed and Maelstrom Pulse. I have some decent removal. I think I'll sideboard the Abyss and try Gifts. Yeah, I'm gonna try Gifts because I can reanimate with that. I don't have to. I can only find 2 targets if I want, and get rid of like the 2 worst cards in my deck. Which one of which would be Steel or Sphinx of the Steel Wind, and the other would be like just a land probably. I don't have to find 4 cards with it. I mean, obviously it's nice if you find 4 cards, but you don't have to. So what do I think of this deck? Well, I think this deck's quite interesting. I do hope that Oath is like... I hope Oath does okay. I hope we at least go like 1-2. I don't know. We're going to see how we end up faring with this deck. I do think it's sweet. I don't know if it's good, though. It's definitely not as broken as like Storm. Definitely not as broken as the blue-red artifact. You know, had had Grim Monolith, had Mana Crypt. You know, that deck was dumb. This deck's a little more interesting, I think. Have fun, man. Alright, so opponent's 41 cards. Alright, I guess they couldn't cut something, or they had a submission error. I don't know. Okay, well, this is an Oath hand. If our opponent is playing creatures, it should work. Let's go like turn 1 plains. Turn 1 plains, like... No, turn 1 swamp. Duh. We get Thoughtseized here. Are they going to put a Lotus Bloom up? Alright, they may be a combo deck of some sort. I'm going to play the Island first. So if I draw a Counterspell, it makes the most sense to have Island up. Could DT for Beast Within. Actually, I don't hate that. This has how many counters left? 2. Alright. Well, if they're going to do that, if they're going to be obliging, then I'll play that game. I don't know if my thing's going to be better than their thing, because they're reanimating too, it seems. But I can DT for possibly something. I guess I can't, like, not this turn. It's also possible they like just ditch something and they can't reanimate it that soon, and I can reanimate it myself. Alright, Sheldred. Sheldred is spooky. I get Maelstrom Pulse with Sheldred. I'm not going to use Oath here. I'm going to Beast Within that now and just say go. And I don't really... The other stuff is not as spooky, and if I have to DT for the Pulse to kill off the silly like Sheldred again, then I will if they have another reanimation effect. But they kind of went all in on that and then ditched all their reanimator targets. Alright, Mezfiend is fine. It's going to get my reanimate more than likely. But if this is what they're doing with their turn, I feel pretty decent because I can Demonic Tutor for a counterspell next turn. What's that, man? Yeah, that tends to be a problem. You need to win in Cube. Yeah, those are not good win cons. Okay, so they took the DT. Okay. I'm going to go for it this time around. They'll eventually get to Oath off of this, but I don't think it's a big deal. Take 7 here. They just give it in. Yeah, I was going to say, I'll win this eventually. Alright, so Reanimator on Reanimator. The hate is real. Well, I may want the Abyss in this one, because it didn't look like they had a lot of good artifact targets. I may just need it. Nissa seems kind of meh, marginal. Yeah, I think this is what we're going to go with. Song of the Dryads is actually also really good against just fast reanimation fat. I just want to ensure I don't expose myself to the reanimation effects. So like Gifts is a little more like dicey, I think. Yeah, because if I just ditch stuff and on their, I guess if they don't have instant speed, they need what? There's no instant speed that does someone else's graveyard. There's a lot of instant speeds that do the player's graveyard. So like you have, the two that I've got, Corpse Dance and Shallow Grave. You have I can't think of it, the 4-mana one that's an instant speed, Mannequin, Makeshift Mannequin. Um, um, so there is a interesting line. Oath Control's not that good though. There's like a really interesting line here where we just like thought seize ourselves, put the Sphinx in the yard. You know what? F it. We're gonna keep this. This is probably wrong, guys. Like this is such a high upside hand though. Like if they just can't deal with this, like if they have Animate Dead, I probably just lose. I could eventually cast that maybe. YOLO. YOLO. I don't think it's right, but I'm going to do it. Like I should have kept this hand if I wasn't going to do it. Alright. You got to turn to animate my Sphinx. If they do, that sucks. Because it does definitely have protection from my Abyss. So have Animate Dead. Animate Dead and or Reanimate would do it. If they have that, we're going to get had. But I think you do this still. Like if you have that, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Alright, nothing. Alright, sweet. Oh, you have Swords to Plowshares or Path to Exile or something? Even like Wrath of God would do it. I wouldn't expect a Wrath of God out of their deck, though. They appear to be pretty all-in on reanimation effects. Could have a Lyra here, but Lyra doesn't really fight this thing. Alright, yeah, Lyra is fine. And here's the big question. Like, I don't have a lot of artifacts in my deck. I'm actually like playing one of mine right now. I think I actually DT here just for a land. Or do I? No, I probably thirst for land. I can DT for something better than that. Well, they have an equipment they can put on Lyra. They even had like just a Bone Splitter. That would work. Okay, I think we allow this to happen. See what we lose. Okay, well, we lost the card we were planning on using here, but I don't think we just cast it in response. It's not like we're really in a bad spot on the board either. You can attack and you will lose your thing. Okay, yeah, I was going to say, you don't beat this thing, and then let's see what we're going to draw. Alright, so we were going to have the Abyss next turn, which means like most of their threats are probably junked. Alright, game 2. I'm going to show my buddy this deck. He'll enjoy this. He'll appreciate this. Sorry about this, guys. That was the last deck we drafted. And here is Oath. Oops. I suck at Snipping Tool. Alright, so let's get back to it. I'm hoping this deck can at least go 2-1. But we shall see. Drafted a lot of Time Walks so far in these cubes. I think I've had 3 in my decks. Well, quick pause until this fires up, guys. It didn't take long. I basically said we're going to take a break, and well, our opponent found us. So, well, where's my game at? There it is. I mean, I think we keep this. We're on the draw. We have Remand, so we have a little bit of time if they're not like a... Alright, they're aggro. Alright. This is kind of like... This is a hand we don't really want against aggro. Alright, Abrupt Decay is fine. Hopefully they just pump their Stud of War. And we get to remand their turn 3 play. Like, that would be for the best, I think. Alright, they're going to play something, I think. Alright, cool. So this is what I want to see happen, because, like, now it's not likely they're going to sit fallow and do nothing. We play the black land here. I could Imperial Seal, but I think it's better just to remand whatever they play. I'm glad I hit that swamp, though. I don't want double blue, because double blue is always like, oh, they have a counter. They may think it anyways. But you run a big risk just putting mana into this Stud of War as well. Alright, and no go on that, Ghost Rider. Alright, not exactly what we want to see, but closer. I'm going to MCO for Trop, I guess. We may just be dead here, though. We may need to actually beast within this thing in the combat step. Mana Crypt as well. If they Armageddon, then we're just going to lose. Their deck looks pretty good. They got some good rares for the White Weenie deck. Crypt is obviously not bad. They can cast multiple threats. They can cast Threat plus Elspeth this turn. They're probably just going to jam it, too. I don't really care as much about that. Is this a Knight? It is. Ooh. Yeah, we might just be dead here, guys. Yeah, this is like the problem with not having a T-Del in our deck. Well, if we don't blow one of these things up, and we're going to lose the game, so I think we have to pass it and then hope to do what? Oh, I know what we have to do. We have to draw into friggin' gosh, I can't think right now, guys. Pernicious Deed. That would do it. Well, wait, no, it wouldn't quite, because I don't have enough mana. I'm be a mana short. Well, we'll Pern Deed this. Take 5, go to 1. And I don't know. Yeah, it's too bad because if we hit the green source 2 turns or like 1 turn earlier, I think we had this game. Although they probably have Swords to Plowshares and whatnot. Don't want to see my draw. They should have played this out main 1 and just pumped to go for the win because they would have won if they had done that. But what could you do? All right, well, Garrick's a cool card, but he's not going to do it here, so I'm going to go ahead and concede. So we're banking on Pernicious Deed. Actually, the Abyss comes in. The Abyss definitely comes in against this deck, although we're not quite as fast as it. Actually, I like Massacre Worm to no small extent either. It's probably actually better than Progenitus, maybe, in this matchup. I probably want all 3. Yeah, maybe not the Abyss. Maybe just Massacre Worm. And what do I cut for it? Like, Nissa seems too slow. Liliana makes 2/2s. That's fine, I think. And then we just go with this. The Abyss is interesting, though, but it does kill my Massacre Worm at this point. I guess I can reanimate it again. Yeah, I think we're going to go with this. We do have some decent permanent elimination. Like, we can deal with the Planeswalkers, the Beast Within, and Maelstrom Pulse. Could bring in Song of the Dryads, but I think it's too slow. Alright, I like this hand quite a bit. So I got a Time Walk. They're going to get whatever 1-drop they play. And then I will likely leave up Remand after that. I'm going to go blue-blue. I'm not going to expose the Tropical Island to like Rishadan Port or Wasteland or whatever. I don't think I Time Walk here. I think I save the Time Walk. 1-drop. Alright, well, 2-drop. Okay. Well, at least they didn't have a crypt there. That is good. I'll pass it here. I don't. Yeah, like I said, I don't need to walk yet. I think I'll wait to walk when I really have to, because walk can have a lot of upside in this deck. If we get to like time walk on an oath turn when we first get oath out, and that's pretty solid. They're just gonna invest all their mana in this. All right. I will time walk here. I want to find black mana, I think. So they invest all their mana in this. We're going down to 8, but then we can Maelstrom Pulse it. I think I just want to hard cast the Massacre Worm. I don't think I want to take that damage. Like, I feel like it's not going to kill the thing this turn. It's just going to jump in its way. Alright. You can also just Maelstrom Pulse this silly thing. Alright, get in there. Don't play an Elspeth one time. Okay, Signet is fine. Okay. They have a disenchant effect. We just get wrecked. If they have literal disenchant, that would be wreckage. I think they do have like an Elspeth in hand. They're just trying to play around my counter magic. Okay, or that they have a perfect answer for it as well. That makes my deck a lot worse, obviously. Well, I cannot cast the Thoughtseize here. Yeah, optimal, man. Optimal. The Garrick may be dead. The Jace can buy us time. I need to get Fine Pernicious Deed, though. But I couldn't do it there because I'd be down to 4 and they'd just attack me for lethal. If this is an Elspeth, it's a lethal attack as well. Alright, this is a lethal attack as well. Yep, we're just dead. That sucks. Yeah, I mean, if they didn't have the perfect answer there, I think we were able to... if they just destroyed Oath, I feel okay, but... them exiling it kind of ends the game for us. That's one of the few cards. That card can actually answer Progenitus as well, because it does not target. Unfortunately, it exiles as well. So we're dead. I think we're pretty dead there, anyways. I mean, like we had to I don't even know if the deck can gain life. I mean, it can once it has a Sphinx on board, but I can't cast a Sphinx. I have to reanimate it or oath it in. Frailty of the deck. So, hopefully we can redeem ourselves and go 2-0 in this one. After getting soundly defeated. We're going to mulligan this. This hand's a lot better. This is actually a good hand. And keep this. I think I do top that. because I have Jace in hand, and like I got decent interaction up along the curve, so, and I'm on the play, so another land is going to be nice. Just play this out, possibly go with a Verdant next turn, because after this next land I draw, I'm not going to really want to see more. Alright. Alright, Brain Maggot. Taking what? What does Brain Maggot take? Probably Pern Deed. I would assume Pernicious Deed, but I don't know. That's not the card I would have assumed. Say go here. They could have a disenchant effect for the Pern Deed as well. And Pern Deed is better against a 0 than it is a 2. The thing with like the Brain Maggots and I can't think of the card's name. The other 1/1 that exiles it. Exiles a card out of your hand. Like, they don't really attack for much. Alright, Liliana would be the worst thing to see. Alright, Metal Worker doesn't scare me as much, I don't think, especially on 3 cards. I'm going to fetch here and just find the Trop. Because I need the green mana Trop. And I could blow it up now to take care of their mocks, but I think I'm going to get whatever they do here. They play another land. Alright, they're just doing nothing. Wonder why they took the Beast Within before they would take the Pern Deed. That's kind of bizarre to me. I'm going to go to their turn. Another option is... I'm going to Imp Seal here. I'm going to find the Oath. Sets up Dig Through Time as well. I'll take the 2. The 2 is not that relevant, I don't think. I'm going to do this on end of combat because I don't want them to have the extra land from Mox. So lose 3 things for my 1 thing. Cool. And I get my Beast Within back. I'll give him the damage. I don't want to give him the mana. I don't know. Alright, so they have a Plains now. And an Una's Prowler. Alright. And go. Okay, what else we got? Kind of would like to blow up the white source here. But unfortunately I can't. It won't leave the phase. They'll just tap it for mana. I have to be leery of oathing now because I could mill myself. But I think I do go for a Dig Through Time here. I'm going to look for a land. Well, there's just that too, right? Okay. Well, the time walk is problematic, obviously. Game's probably over, though. There are things that get him out of this, but Progenitus is, it's a 2-turn clock, unless they can heal themselves. Like, Swords to Plowshare, one of their threat, or Swords to Plowshare is one of their own threats. But, I mean, I can deal with whatever they take here, because it's either Beast Within or Time Walk. Yeah, this card? Okay. Well, we're going to walk the time now. And go to my next turn. And I'm not going to Oath this time around. I don't want to show my last Oath target. I don't think I need to. Just going to Jace plus here. Leave the land in hand. I don't really need another land at this point. And I can discard it to the Una's Prowler to make it a 0-power attacker, actually. Alright, well, land probably is not relevant. We need like a Liliana of the Veil here. Alright. Alright. Oh, they got me to reveal my hand. Alrighty, so Massacre Worm's probably fine against this deck again. Don't really see a ton, just like little creatures. Little aggressive black creatures. I think I'm fine with that. And a splash of white. I'm just going to resub. I'm going to see what they're up to. Hopefully they don't also have a Council's Judgment. That card was such a beating. I'm just like, well, I guess the game's over. I'm pretty reliant on Oath to make this work. So, if it gets blown up, I mean, I can reanimate, but not when I'm at 6 life. Because Sphinx is an 8-drop, and that would make me quite dead off of the actual reanimate. I guess I could bring it back with Liliana Death's Majesty, but I would assume I was able to stabilize the board, which I did forego taking a Damnation, although I would have really liked one in this deck, probably more so than having like a Garrick, or actually Gifts Ungiven. I'd cut Gifts Ungiven and play a Damnation in this deck. I mean, I'd have like a double black, double blue, and double green spell in my deck. But I would do it any day, I guess the other kind of cool thing is we can like use the Time Walk, or the Time Twister rather, and then thin our deck with the Dig Through Time. I've actually done that before in Vintage Oath, where essentially you continue to loop the deck with Time Walk and utilize the Delve spells, Treasure Cruise, and Dig Through Time to thin out the lands. Once you're at that point in the game, you don't really want to draw anymore. You just want to draw Artifact Mana and like Time Walks and whatnot with whatever threat you have. You normally don't have as many value Planeswalkers, but I don't think I can do much better than those. I mean, it's possible I also want the Abyss in this matchup. Maybe I do. Maybe I cut the Nissa. Alright, we're starting. If we lose this one, we'll try the Abyss. I really want to play it. Like, I think the Abyss is cool. I think this is like one of the few decks. Like, there's like probably a Stacks list that runs it as well. This hand's powerful, but I think we need to mull this because the mana's not there. Even though this deck's mana should be pretty good. Alright, this hand's better. Yeah, I'll top that. It's not exactly what I want to draw. I kind of want land. I really want to make a land by the third draw, so I can thirst for knowledge. Alright, opponent, what are you doing? Because I do need to get rid of the Progenitus from my hand. That is not a card I want to have. Alright, is this going to be a Tidal Sculler? Nothing. Alright, well, that's my third land. That's what I really wanted to see. I'll probably just counter whatever they cast here. Yeah, it's not a card that frightens me, but if I had Oath, I would probably just let it happen, but I'm going to go ahead and buy some time here. I'm just going to counterspell this thing. I think we do Beast Within here to get, or I'm sorry, Thirst for Knowledge here to get into more mana. And get rid of the Progenitus. For 1? You paid 2 to get 1 out of it? I don't think that's what you want to do, my man. Well, this opponent may not be... They may be a little newer to some of the cards in the cube, based on that line of play. I think I'm going to discard the Nissa here. I guess we're going to dig through time on their turn. Well, that's unfortunate. I guess we see what we can salvage here. I probably don't take the Oath. Fetch a Trop. So we're going to keep 1 card out of this. If we're lucky, it's the Twister. I guess it doesn't matter if I tap out. Would I rather have Thirst or Counterspell? Probably Thirst, oddly enough. The highest upside is this. So I'm going to take it. Say, okay. Alright. Close. Close, Moto. Not quite. Was the highest upside. The worst draw now is Progenitus. Alright, well, at a minimum, we can, like, Thoughtseize ourselves. I don't want to do that. Let's Thoughtseize them. I'll get rid of any clocks they have in there. Well, that's a good one to get rid of. Yeah, I have a Sphinx stuck in my hand, but I also have... I guess I don't have a Twister anymore, do I? Well, it's just stuck in my hand. Well, no point in not playing out my lands here. Especially if they're playing mass discard. That's a good one to know about. In future, we'll probably leave up our counter magic for it. Yeah, Sphinx was possibly the worst card to keep there. Alright, they've got a Sheldred. And they're going to bring back an Ophiomancer. Alright, come on, Oath. I think if we get an Oath down this turn, we can possibly race this. Alright, we're probably not racing this anymore. If we get a Maelstrom Pulse, we can kill the Sheldred at a minimum. So they're going to get back an Ophiomancer. This is the downside to not being able to cast your actual spells. But we did get Mind Twisted for 5, so I don't feel too bad. I think we were winning until Mind Twist for 5. What about Liliana stayed in play? I guess they were afraid of counter magic there. Okay, yep, you get a 1-1. I do need to find an answer to the Sheldred, like, right now. Okay. What does that do? I don't know. I'm going to look. If I take 2, I'm dead, right? Because I'm down to 8. Yeah, I'm dead if I take 2, so I can't... I think we do Entomb, because they're not going to want to give me that. Demonic Tutor. Maelstrom Pulse. And Time Walk. Okay. They're probably going to figure this out, but this is not a good pile. Mostly because Sphinx can't be in it, but... Let's just see what they do. Well, what are you going to do? Yeah, we're certainly... They're a lot more white than I expected. Alright, so Entomb and DT. Okay. Well, if they have discard, they're going to get this, so I'm going to 1. Abrupt Decay, Pern D does not do it. Looking at Death's Majesty doesn't do it because the silly Sphinx is in my hand. Yeah, these are some of the problems with Oath. I think we just pack it in here. Yeah, I'm going to concede this one. It'd be like Brainstorm if I could entomb into a reanimation effect, but I'm going to go ahead and pack that one in. Mind Twist got us good there. I don't respect the card a lot, but hey. I'm in a game again, man, unfortunately. I'm going to pick up the Abyss, though, here. Alright, let's see if we can salvage this. We got the first game. Alright, if we don't get Mind Twisted, this hand's good. I'm going to keep this. It does have a Pern D to kind of deal with their nonsense. I do think we are mana heavy, and because of that, I'm going to lead on a Marsh Flats because I do want to thin here, and I'm going to get my Shockland on end step of their turn. Alright, we're going to get Thoughtseize or something. Okay. Just a land and a go. Yeah, Mind Twist is pretty spooky. When you're not an aggressive deck. That's the problem I have with those. If you're against like an aggressive deck, it tends to be a lot worse. One other interesting option we have is we could just beast within one of their lands, but I don't think that's right. I think it's the right play if we don't get our hand ripped apart here by something like him or something. Is to, alright, well they have 3 mana, so it's probably going to be a Liliana, which means we'll both discard, and I'll probably just discard, Fieldmancer. That is A-okay, my man. You'll have 3 power on the board. Cool with me. Alright, we got an Entomb, which is also quite interesting, but I think the right play here, I don't have the reanimation effect yet, is just to play out the Pern Deed and say go. They do have a Liliana in their deck as well, which is kind of spooky because that means they can actually Edict pretty effectively. So it'd be nice if they'd actually play that out before. What would I discard here if that were the case? Probably not the island because I'd want to be able to beast within it. Alright, Mind Twist for 2. Dark Ritual, Mind Twisting my whole hand. Jesus. Yeah, it looks like it's how it's going to be. Mind Twist is one of those high variance cards. This player is going to beat us because of it, I think. What can you do? Just shake your head and smile. Yep. And draw well, apparently. Oath of Druids. Go. It seems fairly likely that they do have a Liliana in their hand, but I can Oath twice. I am going to Pern Deed here. I think for just the snake and the. Actually, I just do this, right? I just blow it up. Well, no, I'm going to take the damage. Ah, shit. Yeah, I'm going to take the damage. All right, go ahead. I don't really want him to have that mana for 4. But shit, man. I think I gotta let him have it. Alright, they're not gonna do anything with it. Blow it up for 0. I really just want to get that Mox, I think. I'm not gonna have time to do it for more later, so that could be wrong. Alright. Oath go. Hopefully our first target is Progenitus. And they do not have Liliana. That'd be nice. But we're on 3 black mana, which is Liliana territory. And if they have her, they should play her out now and plus her. Alright, they have Umazawa's Jit. That does nothing. That's not a card that scares me at all. Alright, Time Walk's still in the deck. I like Abrupt Decay here. That actually deals with Liliana, and if they kill this thing... So if they kill this thing and my Progenitus is not the last 3 cards in my deck, I should be able to win. Yeah, so they do have it. So I'm going to sack here, and they're going to get him for 3. Oddly enough, I'm not sure if I blow up the Lily or the Jit. I think it's got to be Jit here. And I got to hope I draw like a Pulse or something, or a Time Walk would be great. But, I mean, there's a good chance of us milling it too. But Twister is still in our deck, which is also nice. See? Sometimes you just got to be a Soul Miser, right? Alright, Garrick's a dead card. Alright, put him down to 10. And then if we both discard, he can't... Yeah, I was going to say, he can't force me to sack the Proj. Alright, bunch of black mana. Don't drain me or anything like that, man. Alright, yeah, I'm going to lose my Garrick. It's fine. Like, the Garrick doesn't really do anything here. And they could reanimate Gristlebrand, but it still can't block. Unless they have... Oh, if they have a haste reanimation effect. If they have that, I guess I'm dead. You know, I have to say okay to that. Worked pretty hard for this, so regardless how it turns out, I don't feel like I've misplayed this game. Hit me for 3, cool. Or stay back and just die, I guess, regardless. Alright, so I'm down to 2. So they have Sign in Blood. Is that a card? Night's Whisper is, but it doesn't target. That's just you. I guess I'm going to have to sweat it out here. This is very tight. We got extremely lucky on that Time Walk draw. I mean, we did not get as lucky on the Garrick. I would have rather hit, like... I don't even know if I want to hit a draw 7 right now. Like, a draw 7 is probably not that great. Like, Maelstrom Pulse is kind of what I wanted to deal with the Lily, but I think I had to get rid of the Jit because their ability to gain life and or just kill me, both of which are relevant. Alright, so you go to 2, and that's cool, but it doesn't change anything. You Brain Maggot, that doesn't change. Alright, so we're going to win. We just barely eked this one out, so at least, you know, we could mill ourselves here. That could be a thing. Our opponent's going to make us play it out, though. We're not going to mill ourselves, though. That would be bad. That would be dumb. Then again, I do feel for them a bit because, like... Actually, I wish I had Gristlebrand. No. No, I do not. Oh, there's a card I can't cast, and that's game. Could attack their Liliana. Nope, we're just going to close the game out. So Progenitus closes the game out. Yeah, protection from everything. Thanks, man. The game's to you, too. It is a pretty cool deck. I thought it was pretty cool. Anyways, guys, that was Sultai Oath in Vintage Cube. You know, win 2-1, you know, which is what most Cube decks are going to do. I think the deck, you know, the deck was a little more forced. I mean, I saw Oath and I just wanted to do it, right? Like, because I think Oath is bad in Cube, but I have more fun when I get to do build around decks like Oath. Like, I think the deck was sweet. Like, I mean, I'll pull it up real fast so we can see it one last time. But the deck was certainly sweet. Like, it just, you know, probably wasn't the best deck ever, but it did have some good sideboard options too. I mean, it's a 2-creature deck. It runs a bunch of Planeswalkers just to get value. I think Nissa was kind of like not. It was kind of meh. I'm trying to remember now what we gave up Damnation for. Like I would have loved to have Damnation in this deck. I think it would have made the deck a lot better. But essentially, it's a small package Reanimator deck with gifts and an Oath deck. So it just tries to interact in the early to mid game, and then eventually get the Oath plan down. This deck actually would have run Regrowth, I think, as well, just because it is on the Time Twister plan, and it's kind of tough when you're just ditching your whole library to get these big enormous threats out. Despite like the last game was actually interesting because they had the Liliana, and we kind of figured they probably did because they kept a 3-lander without much else, and or they at least drew into it, and it seemed like they had kept it pretty assuredly. So I felt pretty confident that they had Liliana, and they were just waiting for my first Oath target to come down. And I'm very glad that it was the Sphinx of the Steel Wind, because if it had not been, which is like where the randomness and chance of MTGO and especially Oath come in, if it had been Progenitus, I would have just lost the game because Sphinx cannot attack into Gristlebrand. So we would have assuredly died. Plus, it's also a much slower clock. I would have actually had to have attacked the Liliana there to get around, just losing my Sphinx to it. So interesting deck. I think this is probably a more decent build of it. I think the best build of this deck probably does not use Sphinx and Proj. It probably uses like Gristlebrand and Emrakul. Those are the two best things ever to kind of get back from an Oath. I could also see like Inferno Titan, but you don't have the Forbidden Orchard to continue to put tokens into play in this version of it. But the deck itself is pretty cool. We found a home for a main deck Beast Within, which is pretty sweet. Even considered playing Song of the Dryads because we wanted our removal to not be creature-based removal, or not be like actual creatures with removal stable to them, like 1/8/7 creatures. Also a decently powerful deck. I mean, we've got Time Walk, we've got the Twister. Time Walk definitely combos well with Oath because Oath is kind of a slower win con. It's take an extra turn until you actually get to kill with it. But pretty sweet. We got run over by White Weenie, which, go figure. I think if we did have that Damnation, we would be in a better place. But we don't have a lot of good low-end interaction. We've got like Abrupt Decay, Counterspell, Remand. But like when they're dropping 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, like you need to be like on it. All the way to 3, and then at 3 you want to be Toxic Deluging them to win the game. So we brought the Massacre Worm plan in, but I mean, in the first game we just got overrun. In the second game, our Oath got exiled, which, go figure. I mean, they were just pumping mana into their Knight, and based on that, I assume they had a pretty threat-light hand and probably more interaction hand, or heavier interaction hand. So pretty cool games. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and take care now.